All right, so in the next few videos, we are going to go over different effects of cloning and hiding things and bringing them together. So the first one we're going to go over is getting rid of some of the stuff that we have in there. So we're going to be going over masking, we're going to be going over layering. And when you look at your movies, your TV shows, even if you don't think it's a computer graphics, like a sci-fi show or something, you still have compositing. A lot of the backgrounds that you'll see, even a romantic comedy, are fake. Sorry to throw you off, but basically they take multiple layers of things like this. It could be mountains, ships, and all islands, whatever people, and they will bring them all together, including computer graphics stuff if they need it, color correct it, layer it, mask it out, and make one complete image. So you can see this is a shot that I have here from a wonderful place that I have from called Storyblocks, where you can get a subscription and you get a whole bunch of videos and templates and things that you can use, stock footage that you can use for projects, and I highly recommend them. But when we see this here, this is just one of the ones I downloaded for the purpose of this example. And what you could see right here is maybe I love this shot, but I don't want this little pier here, right? And that's what it is. If you look close, you can see people are kind of walking around and stuff. If we look really close, they're really tiny down here, but I don't want this. Maybe it's messing my shot up. So the first thing I'm going to go over is the clone tool. So let's take this movie and I'm going to drag it into a composition and it's called Ocean. I'm just going to rename this, right click, and call it Clone Tool Demo. That'll be our first one. So I want to clone this out. And the clone tool works is like the stamp tool in Photoshop. It's just that you can do it with video. So the way it works is I say, oh, I want to clone this area out. Or maybe I want to cover up an area. Maybe there's a person there and I want to get rid of them or something like that. So I double click on the movie so we get into this mode and I choose my clone tool, my clone stamp tool. And then just like in Photoshop, I can change the brush size. So when I do this, if you don't see it on the right, you go and pull up brushes. And when you see brushes, you're going to see some different things that you can change, like the size of the brush, how big it is. So you don't want it like super tiny because then you'll be painting all day. You don't want it necessarily huge because then you're going to get all this other stuff. So we're going to bring it down to something. Yeah, that looks good. Maybe around there. That'll be nice. And what I want to do is I want to find areas that are similar to this that I can use to get rid of this area. So if I said, oh, you know what? Maybe I want to take, let's Alt left mouse click to sample. And then we start to paint in and say, does that work? Maybe I want something from over here. The problem you have to be careful of is if I go to some place that it's too bright, you're going to see that I just Control Z to get out of it, that it's going to be a little too strong, right? So just going in and maybe sampling from different areas. Oh, that's much better. Yeah, I like that. Just to kind of sample that out. And you notice I'm grabbing from different areas and just kind of pulling that in. Doesn't look too bad. Now, every time I did it, it created a clone for every brush stroke that I did. Okay. So if I hit play now, spacebar, we can see it's working. Let's go back into our composition. Boom, right here. Back up. And we can see we got rid of the pier. There's still a little bit I need to clone because the water is hitting the rocks of that pier. They're going up, and then the red sun is hitting it and shining through it, so they're still there. So all that really means is that I need to go back and say, oh, you know what, right there, mister, I need to go in and get rid of that. Okay, so that it's not there. Okay, let's try it again. Click on the composition, rewind, hit play. Yay! Ah, you're still there. Oh, I see why. Because these guys. Just come here. Shift click and just move these back. There we go. I just have to move them back. That's why it's giving me that pop. There we are. So that's using the clone tool. I could also do something really weird if I wanted to, or if I went to the beginning, and let's say this is a strange alien world. I double click and I sample here. So let's go. All right, fine, a little bit higher. So what you could see is that, yeah, you can even like do that if you want. And there are different, different controls that I can use to increase, either soften or strengthen the pressure of the brush. I can even adjust some of the content here. If we look at it, it's so hard. There's so many menus to get in there. So I can turn off aligned. And now if I click it, now anywhere that I paste it, see now it's adjusting. So now I have two suns here. Or if I wanted there to be another, let's undo that. Say I wanted there to be, let's go right to where the actual mountain is. Go to the center. And depending on how I do it, I could do that as well. Now it's a little off because the angle of this is sloped. So it's a little bit difficult, but you get the idea. So that is the clone tool. Pretty powerful.